Happy Sabbath, and welcome to our AY.
I know we've been gone for a while now. We're back, and we're happy to have everyone on here today and anybody else who's watching. So the first thing we're going to start off is with prayer, and we're going to go get right into the program.
So, dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we just want to thank you, Lord, just for this being the Sabbath day that you've given us, Lord. I know there's going to be so much that we're going to have to talk about today, Lord, so I pray that you just guide the conversation. Lord, I just pray that you be with every individual. I know a lot is going on in our worlds right now. Just please, Lord, be with everyone. Please be with this program and help it to proceed and for us all to get a blessing from it. In your name, amen.
Amen. All right, so we're going to go to the first thing, and that is song service, which is the most challenging part of our AY is song service. So we're going to go ahead and sing I've Been Redeemed, okay? Everybody ready?
Yeah.
So we're going to start, and then somebody else can jump in. So we're going to say, Deanna Fritz, you're going to jump in next. And let's see what's on here.
Michelle Patterson, I see here. Taylor, you going to sing a verse?
You going to sing a verse first? All right, let's go. Let's start. Is it?
I've been redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. I've been redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. I've been redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. I've been with the Holy Ghost. I am. All my sins are washed away. I've been redeemed.
I've been redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. I've been redeemed by the blood of the Lamb.
I've been redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. Filled with the Holy Ghost I am.
All my sins are washed away. I've been redeemed.
Amen.
Our turn?
Yes.
You can talk about me.
You can talk about me just as much as you please. You can talk about me.
Just as much as you
please. You can talk about me just as much as you please. Talk about you down on my knees. All my sins are washed away. I've been redeemed.
All right, charging. All right, good job. Amen.
Time, we're just going to ask for if anybody has a testimony that they would like to share.
I can't hear you guys.
Testimony? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so next we just wanted to find out if anyone or any two individuals wanted to share any testimonies.
If you're not talking, may you please put your phone on mute? So no testimonies? All right. Oh. Anybody? Going once, twice? Are we frozen?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Okay. Does anybody have a testimony they want to share?
Well, my daughter, as you all know, my daughter graduated from high school. It's not the way I wanted it to be. You know, I planned on walking down the aisle and carry the Haitian flags with a bunch of flowers and making so much noise, trying to outdo Miriam. But it wasn't supposed to happen that way. But through it all, I give God thanks she get to graduate. And I'm just really happy and joyful that she's on her way to Oakwood coming this fall. And I give God all praise and glory.
Amen.
Anybody else have a testimony? Well, I mean, congratulations to everyone who graduated this year. Congratulations, you guys. And we are always definitely praying for you guys. All right, so one more second. Anybody else have any more testimonies before we go right into our program? I know we already started a little late, so we're trying to get right into it. Go ahead, Miss Sheila Carrington. We can't hear you. You're on mute.
Mute.
There, boo. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, I just want to congratulate those two children again for today, Judelyn and Gabby, for their accomplishments for the
I gotta see.
awards from school.
All right,
Great.
Thank the Lord for that.
Amen. All right, so we're gonna go right into our program. If nobody else have any testimony, we're gonna go right into it. So today, our health department is gonna go ahead and host our program. Woo! Thank you. So, any special music, any other things we need to make sure? No, we're good. So, Dr. McCullough, you can go ahead and take it away.
Okay, thank you so much. I also want to give a shout out to Gabby and Judelyn for this morning and for their accomplishments. It's good to see our young people doing well and being successful. What they're nominated for is actually a very prestigious award given Dade County, and it's recognized around the country. So I don't think we appreciate what they have gotten, what they have been nominated for. So shout out to them again. Now, this AY, which we had made some plans earlier and we changed it along the way because of what's happening with this COVID. And I see a lot of people, I don't think they're taking it seriously. Many of my patients and other people I've come in contact with and people that I've hearing on social media, they don't seem to be taking it very seriously. So I wanted to bring two people on who've been exposed to it, who've had it, who can give us a little bit more insight into what is going on, and so we can be a little bit more aware and a little more careful, because ultimately we have some control over whether or not we are infected or the chances of us getting infected. We do have a lot of control over it. So I'm going to bring on Taylor right away. Is there someone who can unmute her for me?
Hi.
There you are, Taylor. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you, Taylor. And also, I just want to say thank you for Ceon, who Dr. Carrington is going to interview in a few minutes. But I wanted to talk to Taylor first. So Taylor, I understand that you did have COVID-19, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Can you give us an idea of how you believe you caught it?
Well, I started to feel weird at least 3 days before I actually figured I did have it. My coworker started to get sick and she was coughing and everything. And I asked her, I was like, do you think you have it? She was like, no, I'm good. But actually, the person that she lives with actually tested positive.
Ooh.
And she didn't say anything until like a week later. And that's how I figured out. And then I was like, okay. And I started to get I got the chills and I didn't start to feel well. So then that's when I figured out, okay, that's probably what I have, because I didn't know anything until she told me that he actually tested positive and she lives with him. So.
Well, how long was that period of time from when you realized that you were getting these symptoms to when you think you were exposed?
About a week.
Okay.
Really, because where I work, we're close to each other, and so we take precautions, but it's never enough. And I didn't know anything until at least Friday, and he got tested Monday.
Okay.
So yeah.
Now tell us a little bit more of your symptoms. You said you had the chills. Did you have fever?
Yes, I had 104 fever.
Okay.
And then I had the chills. I did nausea, diarrhea, like mostly shortness of breath. I really couldn't breathe at all. It was pretty much everything you can really think of into like one big bad thing, because it was everything is every day was something new. Like one day I would have really bad chills, and then the next day it'll be chills and nausea, and then the next day it would be the chills, nausea, and then diarrhea, and then after that it'll be something else coming on, to the point where there was blood coming out of certain places. So it was really rough.
Um, did the shortness of breath stay with you the entire time, or did that come and then leave and come back again, or
It never left. It was until, yeah, I had to go back a week later because to check my breath, because I couldn't breathe at one point, and I was like a week after I was taking the medications and all that they gave me, I still couldn't breathe. It was to the point where one night my mom thought she would probably call 911 because I just couldn't breathe at all.
wow.
It was bad.
Okay, I didn't realize yours was so bad. Well, how do you think, what type of medical care did you get then? You went to the doctor. Did they suggest isolation only?
Yeah, they did isolation from everybody, disinfect everything consistently every day. My mom had to disinfect the whole house. I only could go to the bathroom in my room. I couldn't come in contact with nobody. I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't go anywhere in my house. I only stayed in my room and the bathroom for about 4 weeks.
But you were strong enough to get up and walk around. You weren't overly.
After about 3 weeks, I was able to walk on my own, but within the week I was diagnosed, and then about 3 weeks, I wasn't able to walk on my own. I couldn't even take a bath on my own.
Wow. Was there a low point? What was the worst period of time? Was it for about a week, a day or two, or give us an idea? And
it was, well, to be honest with you, it was a highs and lows a lot, because at the beginning it was really bad and I had every symptom you could think of, and then I thought I was getting better, and then all of a sudden I got really bad again, and all the symptoms started coming back. And at one point, when I told, like, my mom thought she had to call 911 because I couldn't breathe, that's when all the symptoms were just hitting me at one point. And that was after like a week and a half of me already having it. And then within the 2-3 weeks I had it, I thought I was fine, but then couldn't find out I actually still had a fever of 101, and I didn't even know I had it. And I had to stay in isolation again. So it was a really lot of more low points than high points.
okay, how was your faith in God? How did that help you get through this portion?
It helped a lot, because at certain points, when you have no contact with nobody, like you're by yourself in a room and you can't even hug or touch, because contact is very important for like human beings in general. And I can't even talk to my mom or my dad. They can't sit in a room with me. They can't talk to me. They literally have to pass something through my door and that's it. And it's especially for a young person like me, like I'm all about my family. So not to be able to not have contact with nobody, it takes a toll on you. You get very sad and but like kind of depressed and everything. So my family used to bring me pamphlets where I can read, and it helps me be more connected with God. I used to talk to him just when I'm by myself, because I felt like I had no one. Even though I did have a lot of people helping me, you still feel alone. So it was really helpful for me to pray and read the pamphlets, and also to get like a lot of people from church and everybody sent me like blessings and just really helped me a lot. So that was really a good thing for me to keep me positive and think positive, because I was really thinking negative a lot of times.
So you were aware that a lot of church members and others
Yeah. My mom, because I couldn't talk to anybody. I didn't really want to talk to anybody because I was so in a bad place. So my mom was the one who was contacting with everybody else. And when people found out, they were talking to me or sending things through my mom to me and saying that they're praying for me and all that kind of stuff. And it even made me emotional, because it really showed me that everybody does care. and that when it comes down to it, everybody will be there for you. Even if people don't, some people I haven't even talked to in a long time, they were still there. And that shows me that God has a whole tribe around me and it's a village. So that really helped as well.
Now, I understand you were very athletic and so forth. Do you think that played a role because you were in relatively good health, a young person? Do you think
Yeah.
Do you think that impacted your recovery?
Yeah, because for me, I have family members who are sick and who had a bad past of health, and now they do have the COVID, and it's been 6 weeks and she's still in the hospital. So it's different when you're younger. You have a better immune system and you're much more stronger to fight it. But a lot of people who are older, people who are passing away because of the fact that it's not that. If you don't have the stability to do it, it's really hard to fight it.
Let me ask you about your diet now. Are you vegetarian? Certain things do you think that the fact that we don't eat certain things as Adventists played a role in your recovery?
Somewhat, yes, because when I got sick, I had to cut everything out. My mom had to literally only feed me certain things because I wasn't able to keep anything down first. But I'm not a vegetarian, but I had to really just, even now, even to this day, I have to watch what I eat and I have to watch what I'm consuming because my body is still fully healing. So it really took a toll on me when I first got sick because my mom had to really take everything and just look at what I'm eating just to make sure that it helps me get nutrients to build my immune system back to health and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Did you weigh yourself? Do you know how much weight you might have lost or?
So I was 140 something, and then when I went to the doctor after about 2 weeks, I was at 130 something. So between that time, I lost a good amount of weight.
Okay. So your diet, you never did say, but do you think that was significant in your recovery then?
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate the information, Taylor. Is there any questions that anybody on the listening audience right now would like to ask her?
Lenny, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Question. Hi, Taylor. Good to hear from you. God bless you, girl. Happy that you've recovered so well.
Thank you.
My primary question is that initial asymptomatic spread when you were working and the other staff member contaminated you and denied that she had been, how should I say, that she would give you the virus, as it were. What did your office do, and how was she treated? Was she sent home to be quarantined, etc.? Or how did the office approach that whole problem?
Well, my office approached it pretty well because I work at an animal hospital, so we were always open. But once I got sick, I told my boss, and he closed everything down so that nobody. And then he cleanly sterilized everything, and nobody. We were closed down for most of the time I was sick. So he made sure we all went home. Nobody was allowed to get in contact with anybody until they all went to the doctor, got checked and everything, and everybody was okay. So,
yeah. And the staff members, did any of them test positive?
No.
Okay, so you were the only one in the whole staff who tested positive.
Yeah.
So that girl was asymptomatic, and she brought it to you that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Thanks a lot.
Any other anybody else who have a question, perhaps?
Yes, Sister Simmons. I just want to know how you're doing now. What, as you're recuperating, as you're getting stronger, how is it? How do you feel overall? Is it?
It's difficult at certain points because, like I said, my job, I'm back to work now, so I'm very I'm lifting things, I'm doing a lot, and even just walking up and down the stairs, I get very tired really easily, and I'm really weak. So at certain points, I have to remind myself just to calm down because I'm not at what I used to be, and I have to just pace myself at certain points. So it's tough now because yes, all the symptoms are gone and everything like that, but the aftermath is much as hard as well because your brain is thinking, okay, I'm fine, but your body is fully not fine, and you have to make sure that you're still taking, like, I still have to take my iron, I still have to make sure I'm on top of my diet, I still have to make sure I'm on top of my vitamins and everything, because a lot of times if I don't do it, I get really weak to the point where I can't even go to work. So.
And what about your breathing? Yeah.
My breathing is fine. My breathing is good. I'm back to breathing fine. Like I really don't have any problems with that. It's just since I lost all the weight and I didn't eat anything for a long period of time, my body's just really trying to catch up with itself, and I'm just really weak.
Okay, well, I'm so happy you're getting better.
Thank you.
Hi Tyler, this is Elder Walker.
Hi.
It's incredible to hear your testimony. But what I would like to ask, what would you say to a young person like yourself? Now, you know, sometimes young people believe, okay, we're young, we won't get that, we can deal with that. What would you as a young person say to another young person as a result of you being through this?
It's a lot to say, but my main point is take it seriously, because it doesn't matter what age you are. It can happen to you. And I keep on my family always says I'm really blessed that I have the Holy Ghost, and that my family is so spiritual, and that we believe in God, and that we pray. Like everybody was praying over me, and I feel like that was a huge contributed to me feeling better and keeping positive. But a lot of people don't have that. So for any young person out there, take it seriously, because it can happen to anybody, and you might not even know you have it. So just truly take it seriously, and think about your family, and think about people around you, because if you might have it, you're not having symptoms, okay, but what about the person you infect? Like, if you give it to them, they might have a grandfather or even a mom or a baby at home that if that happens to them, they're gonna die. Like, you have to think about the consequences of your actions. So if you're going out now, please be safe, wear your mask, wear your gloves, and try to limit yourself going out. Even if they say, okay, we're open, we're truly not open. Let's just be mindful of what we're doing, because at the end of the day, we don't want another huge wave to come and then we're all back inside and it's worse than what it is now.
Wow, thank you, Taylor. That was my last question I was going to ask you. Elder Walker asked you that. And again, we are so thankful that you were able to, this information, I think it's made quite a difference, because it's the first time I've really gotten details as such from someone who's had it, a young person who I thought got through it relatively easily, but apparently there's no easy way.
No, not at all.
I've had pneumonia twice, and let me tell you, I've never been knocked down so badly. When your lungs are affected, I couldn't even climb upstairs.
Yeah.
And so I kind of know what it feels like without all the other things going on. But that's a horrible feeling. And so I'm so thankful that you were, God blessed you and you recovered.
Thank you.
Okay, right now, if there are no further questions for Taylor, we're gonna turn over to Dr. Carrington, and he's gonna do an interview on Ceon Lewis.
Okay, as Dr. McCullough says, we have with us this evening one of our good brothers, Ceon Lewis, who has also been infected with the corona SARS-CoV-2 virus and had a significant debility from this COVID-19 disease. And he has also agreed to give us his input into how this disease affected him. So, Mr. Lewis, Ceon, can you tell us a little bit about how you discovered that you had this disease?
Well, first, I want to thank God that I'm alive.
Amen.
I went to New York for my girlfriend's funeral on the 27th of February. And I came back on the 2nd of March. And I as I can remember, there was a Chinese person sitting in front of me. We had
That's not like little
to
boy.
ourselves, but he was wearing a mask during the flight, a 3.5 hour flight. And when I came back, I went to work for 3 days. The last place I was at work, it was a Baptist hospital, where I was sitting by this guy. He didn't seem sick, but he was talking very close to me. To be honest, I didn't know him. So don't assume anything. I didn't know who he was. I then climbed the stairs to go on the roof on one end of the hospital. That's on Kendall. And had to go up on the second stairs, and I couldn't make it. I sit at the bottom of the stairs, very weak. I could have gone up, but I was not sure I was going to come down. So I stayed at the stairs, and those guys did what I wanted to do. And I went home that day, drove home. I then went to my eye doctor, and I got 2 injections in my eyes. So I came home and I quarantined myself because I knew I was not going to work that Friday. I called in sick, and I stayed in my room from Friday to Monday morning. I went to the bathroom, and I had to hold on for dear life because I couldn't stand up. So my wife took me to the emergency room. I may not be able to say the hospital right now, but I went there because my doctor office is at that hospital also. So that's where I think I might have picked it up. And I was feeling real weak. I couldn't stand up. And I thought, well, I should go to the hospital on that Monday morning, the 9th of March.
Did the local authorities do any contact tracing to see who else that you might have contacted might have been infected?
In my building, in the building department where I work, about 5 people had contracted it.
How about on the plane flight? How about in other areas that you might have been traveling on those times? Did anybody seek to find out what any other contacts that might have had it?
No, it was an American airline flight, so I did not make any inquiries to anybody who have had it on the plane.
Okay, can you describe to us some of the symptoms that you had and the severity? We've heard a little bit from Taylor. What were your symptoms like?
Well, listening to her, I know my symptoms were not as severe as hers, but I was weak and couldn't stand up. I went in there that morning. I stayed there all day, Monday morning, the 9th of March. And they told me that they're going to keep me overnight for observation. Throughout that time, I found out that I had 102-degree temperature, but I didn't feel it on the outside. But when they took my temperature, they said that's what it was. I was with my wife all day. She the one that took me to the emergency room. And I waited that night thinking that I'll be going home the next day. But I came up there on the 24th of March.
How did you finally find out then that you had the virus? The initial symptoms may not be that clinically suggestive. So what happened to lead up to the diagnosis?
Well, the week after, they came and told me they were moving me from room to room. And one day the doctor came in and said, you have been tested for the coronavirus. I didn't believe it because I was coherent. I knew everything that was going on throughout my visit there. So I just tell my friends who have called me that I don't think I have it. And the medicine they were giving me is just to treat me for previous symptoms I've had throughout the year. But I stayed there, went into a fetal position, and I just decided to say, well, this might be the end of it. I may not be coming out. One thing I should say that affected me real bad is the fact that no one could have visited me. And that's affected me. I had to be choked up, because my two daughters came there and they were seeing me through a glass. Previous to I going into the ICU, I have seen other friends like Brother James, Cosmos James, Brother Ned. But the last person who was able to see me, besides my family, was Dr. Castanet. And he had to be all cloaked up in order to come and see me. And probably because he's a doctor, they allow him to come and see me. But all this thing get me depressed, a little bit. It's like you are kept in a room all by yourself. And I've had some incidents there where I've been left in a shower over an hour. They have left me there because they gave me something to induce BM. And growing up, I see some fowls and things in the yard, and I know how they were able to leave a trail because this was depressing to be there and not able to help yourself. And the nurses gone away for over an hour and left me in the shower. So that gave me even more depressed that no one is not coming, even though I slap in the wall, I pull in the chain, no one was coming to my assistance. I don't know if they were punishing me for having to left my deposit as I crawled to the bathroom.
Basically, the primary symptoms that you described so far are just fever, weakness, and was there any other like symptoms like the shortness of breath that like what Taylor described? Did you get that? Did you have like any pneumonia? Did you get any other kidney symptoms or other kinds of symptoms from this disease at all?
No, the only thing that was significant is my breathing. I couldn't talk to people like I'm talking to you now. I'll be coughing and cannot bring out a sentence. So there are a lot of people who are calling, but I wasn't able to pick up the phone, hold the phone in my hand. I was so weak. So I just stayed there and just thinking my own thoughts. And
how about the weight?
I was able to come out.
How about the weight loss? I remember you told me that you had lost some weight also.
Yes, I'm down to my sexy weight size now. I lost about 40 pounds, which I'm putting back on now because I'm eating pretty good, thanks to my wife.
What's the sexy weight? What's the ideal sexy weight?
No, I was weighing, I guess the world would know, I was weighing 278 when I went in because I weighed myself not feeling good that Thursday, so the 5th. And when I came out, I was weighing 228.
Okay. Anyhow, let's continue. In terms of
I think because why I lost the weight, I was not eating for about 10 days. I was not even drinking water.
Wow.
I just stayed and they put food there and I smelled it and put it back. And for 10 days, I didn't eat anything, not even drink water.
Back to the social isolation dynamic that you developed. How has that been at home, the social isolation, since you've come home from the hospital?
Well, it's a mental thing that, no one in my house can stop me to come outside. But when you're in the hospital and you are all hooked up with things, you are at their mercy and you cannot do as you want. So that mental stress, I was eliminated from that. I came home that Tuesday, the 24th of March, and in my head, I was telling everyone by Monday, I'll be able to come outside and sit outside like I'm sitting now. So I able to mentally test myself to do the things I promised myself to do. But when I first came home, I had to be dragged in the house because I couldn't walk in. Shower, I had to sit on a chair and bathe myself. I couldn't stand in the shower myself. I had to be helped for a few days until I was able to get strength in my legs and were able to do those things now on my own.
You also told me a story about your neighbors and how they the fear that you put in them when you went outside. Can you tell us a little bit about how the community has perceived your illness?
Well, it so happened that neighbor is they're from Barbados, and a squirrel went into my transformer in the back of the house one day, and the lights was out on one in my block. So I went outside and I saw my neighbors, the husbands of the two neighbors, and I knew I didn't have any mask on, but I stood about 15 feet away from them, and we were all talking in a triangle. And the wife of the man from Barbados came out and she called him, John, and she called him in the house. So that was the first encounter I find with a negative person, thinking that I've had it. But I knew to keep my social distance from that individual. And we couldn't go back in our house, but for an hour, when the technician for the FPNL come and get my lights back on. So that was my first encounter with someone negative, thinking that I would infect someone else. So
yeah, has that stigmatization, if I will call it that, has that stigmatization been a problem for you subsequently, and have you been able to get back to work and stuff like that?
No, I'm not back at work yet. Still, because of the procedure, it's now my fourth time I'm taking a test. I took one at Amelia Air Park and one at Holy Family on 145, 09 Northeast 11th Avenue. And the job requirements for me going back to work is that I have to take 2 tests and be negative within 24 hours. And it took me 17 days to get, I did it on the 4th of May and the 5th of May. And it took me 17 days to get a result for the on the 5th. As a matter of fact, I had to go back to get it done again for within a 24-hour period, because it's very difficult to get results from the state. In the line on Friday last, I got the result. I was in the line in Cutler Ridge to go and do it on in a 24-hour period again. So at this point, I have tested 4 times, and I want all the listening air in our audience right now to know that I have been tested 4 times, and I have been negative. So there, if I'm wearing a mask, you don't need to run for me, or I don't need to wear a bell to announce my presence. So I'm pretty confident now that the way I feel have nothing to do with Corona. What I'm feeling now is something I've been dealing with before. And now that this Corona affected even in greater magnitude, it's what you call vertigo, whereas I have to touch the wall at times, even more so than them, in order to keep my balance. I have to count the time. I cannot gaze because I could just fall. It's very difficult. Yesterday, I've had an episode like that. These guys saw me who knew me before, and they said, "Whoa, whoa, what's going on with you?" And I just walked towards them, and they got a chair quickly and have me sit on it. So I stayed there about 10 minutes, and I was able to be good. I'm still driving. Uh, I don't feel any effects when I'm driving, sitting or laying down. But when you're walking or standing for a while, you get exhausted a little bit. So I'm trying to work myself out of it to get stronger. So I do walking around the neighborhood to just get my legs steady under me so that as time passes, I think I'll be better.
So I guess you don't have any well, you do have a significant residual, but it's not something that you can't handle. And as far as the stigmatization goes, you don't feel that people ought to feel justified in stigmatizing you anymore. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Well, I wish my church audience hear me saying that emphatically that I've been tested 4 times and all negative. My co-worker, I am in mechanical, he's in electrical. He was then tested positive again. So he's going through his struggle where I'm just waiting to complete the steps that I have to take in order to be qualified to resume working.
Do you have to take any further treatment regimens right now, or are you totally off all treatment regimen at this time?
No, when I left the hospital, they put a pulse oximeter on my hand, my finger, to check my oxygen. Mm-hmm. And the doctor said, "You're going out today." That's all they did in the hospital. They did not give my regular doctor any information concerning the corona. I don't know what was the secret, but my doctor told me I've tried with other patients and they're not giving out any information. So I have not gone back to him now yet. So I'm just waiting for the process to complete with my job, and then I'll go back to him. And he will then evaluate me also. But I'm thankful that because of my job, I'm able to sustain myself while out on the job, having vacation time or sick time. Mm-hmm. So I'm thankful to that, for the God for that. But in something I need to say is that previously in my life, never understood the effect of prayer. But I can testify to the fact that laying on that bed, I could actually feel the prayers. Not to make it a joke, but our first elder, Roddy English, came to the when I was in the ICU, and I could only wave to him through the glass. And as Taylor have said earlier, it's the isolation that affects you. That knowing that you may not come out, you cannot see anybody, you cannot touch anybody. That affected me real badly. While there, I also see the glass to the door get dark. And I couldn't make out the person, but eventually I was able to make him out. Our pastor, Pastor Pierre, he darkened the door, and I realized he was there wishing to see me, but he wasn't able to come in. So I have to say I appreciate his visit, and we spoke afterwards. So I'm thankful for him visiting me. I also wanted to say to all who have prayed for me in New York, Canada, Grenada, I know for a fact that when I go to Grenada, they'll be seeing a ghost, because the news spread around my community that I was gone, I was dead. So they would be seeing a ghost whenever next they see me. But I want to say that I have gotten my flowers. I know of many who have prayed for me, and I am thankful that the prayer works. My good friends, I should mention Sister Baker and Sister Ryan. They, I know, were in my corner, and I felt that they were praying for me, actually felt it. Somebody I need to give high praise. I hate to call too many names because so many names to call. Names like Sister Lauren, Sister Brown, Sister Bailey, and many more I don't want to call, but the most important person I would like to was there for me was Brother Ned, Kenneth Ned. You know, it's good to have, there's a saying that good friends is better than pocket money. And I could say in a loud voice that Kenneth Ned have been there for me. Sometimes you get choked up because it's only when you get sick you know that how much someone cares for you. And I could say even today I got a visit from him of many ones before that he cares, and I so appreciative of him and his family, because his wife also encouraged me to get a pulse oximeter that I can check my oxygen as every day, which I do. My wife and my daughter help me to check it every day, blood pressure and my oxygen level, which I maintain the level that is required. So I wanted to thank this Ned family, Kester also, who have been on the phone with me, and also including you, which I can call and ask any questions. And I appreciate all the love and concern that was shown to me while I was there. So with that, I've gotten my flowers, and I'm able to really recover up to this point to say thank you for all those prayers that were shown on my behalf.
Okay, I want to take a pause right here and see if there are any questions from any of the other people in the audience, and we'll I'll have a couple other closing questions if nobody else does, but if not, I'll take your questions right now for Ceon. Anyone in the audience has a question?
We want to know, what was the first meal you had after you were no longer in the hospital?
Well, the first meal was chicken broth by my sister. And since then, I've been eating everything up to this point, which since then to now, I gained back about 17 pounds. So, I'm eating everything now.
Any other questions other than food questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
Ceon Elder Walker here.
Yes, I can see you.
Good to see you and to hear from you, man. It's, we've been praying for you, and we see that the Lord has answered the prayer. During your stay in the hospital, you mentioned, you were depressed because the isolation and withdrawal from others. I know that must have taken a toll emotionally and on your mental state. what did you use to get through that state when you were in the hospital?
Well, I talked to Brother Nick and Sister Brown the last thing before I go to 11, 12, and first thing in the morning. So they keep me grounded. And with me, I then decided that, well, I may not be coming out, so I could just free my mind, don't get so depressed anymore. But they were the ones that talked to me most of every night. And I was able to understand that life, if it comes back to normal, it does. If not, then I just have to live it the best way possible.
So it does show the importance of a social support during tough times when you know that there's individual in your corner praying for you and cares about you that are not necessarily family, but biologically, but your support system. And I think that what you're saying is that played a key role in you being able to withstand this thing from the virus.
As to the question asked about food earlier, if you notice, I'm wearing my Adventist men's t-shirt.
Yes.
Many months ago, I would not be able to fit it on, but because I lost, because I lost a little weight, some my thing went out.
So it's a sexy shirt at your sexy weight now, huh?
Yeah, I remember we went to a men's ministry.
Yeah.
We had a very good time, and while there, I'm not seeing myself anymore. Seeing you, but I'm thankful that now I'm able to wear it without no stress.
Any other questions? Any other questions?
Yes, one other question. Brother Ceon.
Yes.
I just want to say we're really grateful to see you, and we've been behind the scenes praying for you a lot, and thankful to God that He has brought you to this point. Can you give us a little bit more of the highlights as to what happened to you when you were able to acquire that shirt, that favorite shirt? Tell us some more.
No, I recall going to camp. We went to Gainesville in a men's ministry camp.
Can you recall some of the people who were with you?
A very long time ago, maybe 6 to 8 years or more.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thankful to be able to wear it right now.
Do you remember some of the instances of what happened to you while you were there?
Well, the world don't have to know all of these things. With us men, I am amazed what they were to go to sleep. Imagine a man wearing a muumuu to go to sleep was a real treat in laughter that we have had. But we have had a good time at this event, and I'm thankful that all those things came back to my memory of the times we have had, and I would have really missed it. So I'm thankful to be alive. I'm thankful for all the prayers that was handed up for me, and I think that's what got me through. Because in the hospital, they did not do anything specifically for Corona. They were just acting on my previous conditions. So I think it's just because of God that I am able to come out and the prayers handed up for me on my behalf. And I'm so thankful that I can be out as I am, not completely healed, but could deal with the stress of what I'm going through right now. Yeah, I know that one day you could come back, it would be better.
If no further questions, I'm
glad to see that your work is not done yet, Brother Ceon. And God has much more for you to do. Much more.
Yeah, I'll take the other question. Go ahead.
Voice.
Hi, Brother Ceon. It's
Hello.
Sister Simmons. How are you doing now?
Well, I'm thankful to be on above ground.
Yeah, I know Chris spoke with you a couple of times, but I wanted to let you know that, of course, I've been praying and like everybody else, and I'm so glad to see that you're doing much better. I know it's going to take a little while getting your energy and strength together, but it's good to see you, and you sound like your old self. So
Well,
you take care and God bless you.
Yeah, tell Pastor P I'll be back on the road again, and I'll be coming with the same questions that I've had. I know no one has seen me in beard before, but I'm trying to take the black Moses look so that he might think I'm Moses when I come back. So I appreciate all who try to come to look for me and those who were able to see me. And again, I'm so thankful. Again, I can't stress it more. When I think about him, I just, I try to be man about it and not let him know that I really appreciate his help. And I know I'm not guessing that he's there for me whenever I need him. So I do appreciate all that he do for me and will do for me.
Yes, amen.
Everybody else, I'm thankful I'm able to communicate with Dr. McCullough, Dr. Carrington, and Dr. Castaneda so that they could give me hints on how I can proceed in life. And I want to say that now that I know I'm appealing to the audience that when you know someone is sick, any which way you can go and say hi, hello, means a lot more than medicine.
Amen.
So, thinking of this lady who is my one of my girlfriends, Sister Jackson. I promised to look for her on Sunday, and it rained so much throughout the days, and now she's back in the hospital. And although I know things are stable, I'm still fretting I was not able to see her. She's looking forward to see me. So I'm saying we, the audience in Tabernacle, should be able to, anyone gets sick, try to communicate it any way which possible. You never know the effect your presence, just your presence to say, I'm praying for you, means to that person in isolation.
Yeah. So, Razian, what kind of advice do you have for people to help in preventing this disorder? We know the stories about the use of masks and gloves and shields and all the other things like that. But any personal advice you have for people in trying to prevent this particular disorder?
I am saying to anyone that's hearing me that the mask should not be as a false sense of security. Even though you're wearing a mask, still try to maintain that distance from anyone, whether they did have it or not, because we truly don't know how one gets it. I could just imagine from recollecting my steps prior to this, where I might pick that up, but we need to keep whatever the guidelines are and try to keep safe distance and pray God that you are not the one like me, because even the doctors having much time to watch TV and listen to different pundits, you really are confused as to how you got it, whether you could get it again. No one knows. So we just have to take precaution as best as possible. As my job entails me to do, when
you are dealing with your mask in your face, try not to reinfect yourself by touching the mask. In my trade, I do air condition. Your filter, when you're changing your filter in your air condition, try to do it safely. Don't touch with dirty hands the clean filter you're going to install into your air condition, because it's recycling, going back, going round and round and round. So if there is things in the filter and you touch it and use your same hands to install the new one, who tells you that you have not been reinfecting the new filter? So with all things you do, just now try to be safe the way you do it, because you never know. And I should say before we go that so far my wife have been tested twice. The result is uncommon. And my two kids that live with me, son and daughter, they have no effects. I asked for them to be tested, but they says if they don't have no symptoms, they're not going to test them. I've been going in, they coming in and out of my room, where at most of the time in these 2.5 months, I am in, seldom go out, but I ask them to stay safe distance so that they cannot reinfect me or I cannot affect them.
Okay, my final question to you there for now would be, is there anything else that I did not ask you that you want to say to the audience who's watching to help them in coping with this COVID crisis?
Well, seeing that is what we term AYM, meaning the young folks most so listen or participate in the program, I would want to say that you are not too young to catch this. So appreciate what you have been hearing about keeping safe distance and praying a lot, and hope that you are not one like me and Taylor. So that's the basic thing I could tell you. Just take the necessary precaution, because we could only assume how it can get onto someone. But do the best you can, and this is serious, because when you are in isolation, this kills you more than anything else. The fact that you had your freedom before and now you don't have any freedom anymore, and you cannot see your family, because this is one of the most stressful thing I had to go through, seeing my two daughters that I couldn't see but through a glass. And that's a stressful thing. As Taylor mentioned, this is a stress. And when you stress, a lot of things come up in your body that were not dormant, and now it rises to the top because your immune system is lessened, and without you having a strong immune system to fight all those diseases that is in your body, then as it goes lower, a lot of things comes up that could make you really sick and die. So it's very serious thing that we should take care of now, and not let it just be careless about the way you go about dealing with people because you think you're young and strong. But I'm appealing to you to take all the precautions necessary to avoid you getting this, because you never know how strong your lungs is or how good your immune system is to fight off any disease. I am lucky to not have had all the symptoms and vomiting and things like that. So I am thankful to God for seeing me through, where I can say I was very, very lucky, not having much of a symptoms too. Like many other persons I know, my cousin, one died having it with other diseases he have had, and he passed away. He'll be buried on Thursday coming after being there for over a month. So I am thankful that I can now speak to you, see you, or see many persons that came by. Brother Baldwin, he's another champion that I cannot but have him in my life. We are, him and Brother Ned, are ones I could tell every and anything, and they don't get mad or hate me. So I'm saying to my audience, continue praying for me. That's all I can say.
Thank you very much. For those of you who are interested in the May 28th issue of the New England Journal of Medicine for this year, there's a beautiful article. This is the magazine, New England Journal of Medicine. There's a beautiful article on this particular syndrome and how it affects people's bodies. And as we saw here in the 2 case studies that were presented this afternoon, the presentation of this disease can be quite different in different people. Some symptoms may be in common. Notice that Tyler said that she developed diarrhea, but Ceon had to get something to make him go to the bathroom, which was something else totally different. So the virus occurs in people and enters the body through various receptors in the respiratory tract. But those same receptors are present throughout the rest of the body in multiple organs and tissues. And as the virus gets into your body, it affects all these different organs and tissues and cause different problems. Ceon just related the fact that he's having some vertigo-like symptoms, which tells us that more than likely the epithelium or the brain tissue that deals with balance has been affected to some degree by this virus. Taylor has persistent weakness that she has to make sure that she eats enough so that muscle tissues and stuff like that aren't fully back to normal yet. So we can see that there's a variety of organs that are affected by this virus, and it causes significant problems for people, not only immediate, but also in the long term. So, or in the intermediate term. We don't really know long term yet because we don't have survivors that long yet, but we will, as time goes by, we'll see that. So this disease is not something easy to cope with. It's not something that you want to get, and I would definitely recommend that you listen to these 2 people who have given us their testimonies this evening and make sure that we do everything possible to not get this virus and to encourage behavior that does not allow others to get it. So I'm going to turn it back over to Lenny and see if he has anything further to say.
Thank you, Dr. Carrington. Thank you to Brother Lewis. Thank you to Taylor. I think you have opened up our eyes to a bit of what occurred with this disease. And so I think we'll be more sympathetic to other people with it. And we'll also be, I think, a little bit more careful ourselves that we'll try to avoid it as much as possible. Again, thank you so much for your inputs today. And thank you, Dr. Carrington, for yours too also. We have a Vesper thought here, and then if we have enough young people, they wanted to do Kahoot. I don't know if we have enough. But in any case, my Vesper thought is this. My Vesper thought and then prayer, and then if anything, Kahoot. In 2003, I was fortunate to visit Ghana. And while I was there, I was able to go to the capital of the Ashanti Kingdom. Now, that was very important for me because I'm Jamaican. A majority of the slaves that were taken from the west coast of Africa came from that particular tribe. One of the things, that tribe is the one that's responsible for the kente cloth that you see. They were generally farmers. But the big thing, they had wars with the British. They fought with the British. They had 4 major wars. And the interesting thing about the Ashantis, what I really want to get to, is to talk about their king. Now, before I do that, I want to read you a text here. It says, "Our Lord is king. Our Lord, you are king. You rule from your throne above the winged creatures as people tremble and the earth shakes. You are praised in Zion, and you control all nations. Only you are God, and your power alone, so great and fearsome, is worthy of praise. Now, the Ashantis have a king, and there's an interesting way that they install their king. First of all, he's inherited through the mother, the mother's line. The oldest male who is capable, it becomes the king. But to become the king, they actually sit you on a stool made of gold, a golden stool, pure gold. And one of the reasons why there's war with the Ashantis, the British wanted that stool. They also wanted a lot of the gold that they had. They were wealthy with a lot of gold. In fact, as far as West Africa, they're supposed to be the best at making gold jewelry and gold items. Well, one of the things they discovered, the British decided that in order to control the tribe, they fought with them, and they decided they had to get the king, either kill the king or capture him. And somehow, one of the last wars, they captured the king. But the British felt that once they captured the king, they would have control of the kingdom. But actually, it turned out that that wasn't the case, because they installed a new king by him sitting on the throne. Now, I like to look at it this way. The Ashantis realized the power was not in the person. The power of that kingdom was in the golden stool that he sat on. If we look at us today, we are no longer in our church. And some people see the church as where the power is, where it is. The power is not in the church. The power is actually in God, in the Almighty God himself, who channels it through us. So I want us to remember that as we go through the week, that even though we haven't had the opportunity to meet together like we normally would, and we don't have church the same way we always do, the power is not in the building. The power is not in that building there. Beautiful building as it is, I love it. But I think we must always remember the power is in God on high, and he gives us that power to do his duties. So that again, when the verse says, "O Lord, you are king, you rule from your throne, above the winged creatures, as people tremble and the earth shakes." So God is God alone. The other interesting point is this: the Ashanti kings changed. When they were installed, they became somewhat deified. They were not only man, but they felt that they were also part God. But yet this God kept changing. We have a God that doesn't change. And so we have a God that doesn't change, who's all powerful, and we have to give thanks for that. I'd like you to bow your heads now as we pray. Dear Heavenly Father, as we go forward with this week, we are going to face a lot of different trials. We may face dangerous situations. There are some who are working in the hospitals and facing a number of people with COVID diseases who may contaminate them and infect them. We're thankful for the way you've kept us safe, and you've brought your children back, Ceon and Taylor, and others that we may not even be aware of. We're thankful for what you've done for them. We're thankful for what you've done for our church. You've kept the tithe up. You've kept us as a family. And Lord, continue to bless us all. All these things we ask in thy name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. We just want to thank the health department for this wonderful AY.
Before anyone gets off, AY is not over. Kahoot is not only for young people.
For all ages.
So before we go into Kahoot, we have any announcements?
They're going to beat me with Kahoot.
You have some, any announcements?
One more announcement.
Go for it.
On the end of the month, we're also having another AY, and there are a lot of important AYs coming along this month, from what I understand. But we're going to do one on vaccines. There have been a lot of misinformation, a lot of I've heard going around the internet. I've spoken to people in the church who have a lot of misinformation. So our own Dr. Carrington has done some studies on that and some papers on that. My own son, Dr. Derek McCallum, he's done a presentation on that. We hope to bring both of them in, and maybe one other person. We're going to keep that quiet right now until we get a confirmation, but they'll be talking to us about those things, because that's something we will be facing with this disease. Should I take that vaccine? Should I not take that vaccine? Is Bill Gates trying to kill us? All kinds of things are going on now. So let's tune in, especially for that one. Thank you.
All right. I want to say the date for that one will be June 27th.
That's correct.
Okay, so
great.
June 27th.
So June 7th, 27th.
So we have AY on the first week of June, which is June 7th.
Yeah.
Then June 13th is the Education Department. Then June 20th is
Father's Day?
Juneteenth and Father's Day?
Father's Day?
Father's Day.
Yeah.
Definitely Father's Day program. And then June 27th is Health Ministry. So June is completely filled up. Thank you everyone for
being willing participants to
One other announcement.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to be the first to give a shout out. June begins tomorrow, I think, right? Or is it? Yes, something like that. Am I right or wrong?
Monday.
Monday is June 1st.
June begins on Monday. So just in case I don't get to see Brother McCullough, I want to give a shout out to him. I'd be the first to wish him a happy birthday when he comes. Very soon it's going to be his birthday, and he'll tell you if he chooses.
Oh, well, happy early
birthday to you, Brother McCullough.
Thank you. Thank you.
Also, I just want to say a special thank you to all these elders and big heads. I feel so honored that you all have joined us. And I hope to see you guys again on other
You've been doing a good job. You've been doing a good job.
On other AYs. But no, it's
you.
Great to see so many people taking part.
We also have Wednesday night prayer meeting at 7:30 via Zoom. Collegiate Sabbath School at 10 a.m. on the same platform. What else I'm missing? Children's Ministry also started a Sabbath School at 9:30 via Zoom. Anything else? No. And I think Youth Encounter is this Friday as well. 7:30, 8 o'clock. Okay. So we have a lot of things going on. Somebody said something? Communion
Is next Sabbath.
Next
yes.
Sabbath as well.
So go ahead and look up that recipe and get your family prepared for communion at home. Go ahead.
Yes. And Youth Encounter, please remember to send out your meeting notice, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, most definitely.
Some of
Go
us
ahead. You're muted. You're muted, Sister Carrington.
She's coming. It's coming. Up.
I think she's gone. I think she's frozen.
Okay. Anybody else have any other announcements before we get our conclude started? Okay. No. All right. Go ahead, Shad. You can go ahead and take it away. Kahoot.
And then when storm clouds come, I'll be safe within my ark. I will build my ark before it starts to rain. I will follow the prophet, for he speaks in God's name. I'll prepare every needful thing. I will walk in righteous ways. When the rain starts to fall on me, I'll be ready for that day.
All right. Here we go. Okay.
Noah was a prophet, a man who did not fear. When he taught repentance, the people would not hear. So the Lord told him to build a boat that could hold a ton and stay afloat. And Noah started building and said within his heart,
right, don't let the music fool you. Kahoot is a serious game. Now that we are about to transition, it looks like we've got 12 players ready to roll. It's a little bit difficult to see it with the background, but I do see some of the players here. Dazzled Hare, Classy Dingo, Noble Leopard, Golden Koala. We've got, wait, hold on. Is that I think that might be part of the background. I don't know if those are players. That's not players at all.
That's not players at all.
All right. Well, we've got 15. I was about to say today's an animal theme. Dandy Bunny. I thought that no, but we've got 17 players. It's great. It's great. Keep it rolling. We are going to come. We're going to begin in about.
Can everyone hear us?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Perfect. Just making sure.
17 players in.
Yes. And I'm not playing, so don't worry, y'all.
Well, thank you, Sophie, for engineering this one today. I think it's going to be a great Kahoot as we explore the book of Revelation. All right, we're at 20 players. We're going to start in about 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. By the way, if you need the code, it's 9862084. Speaking of 4, it's 4.
If you're watching on YouTube.
3. If you're watching on YouTube, please log on Zoom. There will be a delay. The people on Zoom have an advantage with speed. So make sure that you log in on Zoom and you type in the game pin at kahoot.it. Pin number 9862084. All right. We're beginning in 3, 2.
You just gave the YouTubers the chance to get on. Okay, we got it.
It's all right. The YouTubers they've made their decision. All right. Question number, wait. I don't think this is the correct Kahoot. It was on
the Revelation.
To see that everybody got the first answer right, even though it will not be counted. We are just whetting your appetite for the real game to begin. That's right. Noah's sons were Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Great job. Yeah, don't worry. We'll be transitioning to the Revelation one soon. But just hang in there with us, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. That is it. I think they're
fixing it.
Yeah, they're going to be pulling it up. All right. Well, it's so good to see so many participants playing this Sabbath. And once again, I'm so excited to see that everybody got the first one right. If you chose ham, cheese, and croissant, we would have a problem. So I'm glad that we were able to.
Revelation.
Glad that we were able to start off right.
It's on there.
That's what I said. Under the same account that I.
All right. So yeah, it's TYM.
TYM.
Yeah. All right. So how's everyone doing? Dr. McCulloch, I'm glad to see you on here. Are you a part? Are you one of the participants? Are you Kahooting? Yes.
Yeah, right.
Awesome. Let me turn our lighting on here. Yeah, that happened. Oh wow, I think it's not working. All right, great. Who else is on? Who else is on the call? On Kahoot. Let's see. Are we able to?
No, he turned it off.
Okay. Gotcha. Dr. Walker, you Kahooting with us? Ah, man, I can't see the video anymore. Hold on one second. What just happened?
There you go.
Okay.
All right, waiting for players. Go ahead and put the new pin in.
Okay, so this is a new game, so we need a new pin. So go ahead and put in the new pin, 617-9459. 617-9459. All right. Yes, we're populating already. Yep, we've got 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
I was thinking about them.
Oh, so this was actually the names. Caring Gecko, Fast Buffalo, Silly Iguana. Wow. I didn't know that this was a thing. Okay. We're up to 14 players. Glowing Jaguar. Oh, all right. Royal Rabbit.
Jumping Gazelle.
Wow, this is new. This is new.
Did everybody plan this?
I don't know, but this is kind of cool though.
We're invited to the show. Fast Buffalo.
Wow.
Red listen, okay, y'all going a little crazy now.
Snowy Koala. Oh,
I'm
man.
loving this. Everything is available. Royal Rabbit.
Right. Oh, they're automatically generated names. That was a killjoy, but God, I appreciate it. Okay. Oh wait, Jason's not even. Okay, no. Yeah, so I guess setting might be different. I think that's so just remember who you are in this thing. All right, remember your actual Kahoot username. Because there is
at the bottom.
Okay. Great.
We lost 4 players.
Okay, so we actually lost 4 players. Let's go ahead and get started. so we can get this in. All right, here we go.
Hey.
Which disciple received the message from the angel in Revelation chapter 1? All right, the answer was John. 14 got it correct. And let's see the running sheet. Karen Gecko, you are up first, and Amazing Amazon. Badger, you are up second, and Speedy Bunny, you are up third. All right, second question. How many churches are mentioned in Revelation chapter 1? Is it 7 or is it 5? A whopping 16 people got that right. Let's look at the scoreboard. And Karen Gecko is still up with 2020, and Amazon Badger with 1980 points. All right. In which country are the churches of Revelation chapter 1 located? It was an even distribution, but it was very close. 9 was the answer. Asia with 9 people, and the scoreboard. Karen Gecko, wow, Karen Gecko with 30-40, and Glowing Jaguar pulling up with Silly Eknida. Wow. Forgive my ignorance. What was the name of the island on which the writer of Revelation was exiled? Just like the church in northern Florida. Karen Gecko is at 4,300, and
Silly is in second place.
Is in second. Glowing Jaguar pulling a third. Question number 5. The beginning of Revelation 1 verse 8 says, "I am blank and the blank." One and only. Alpha and Omega. 13 answers, Karen Gecko is still in the lead. I'm curious to find out who is Karen Gecko.
Can't wait to find out.
5,588 points.
I like that.
Celia Echidna, somebody please help me how to pronounce that. What do the 7 stars represent in Revelation chapter 1? Holiday, 4, 8, 7. The answer is angels of the 7 churches. A whopping 11 answers. And Karen Gecko, are you still number 1? Oh! Celia Echidna was upset that I mispronounced their name, so they decided to pull up to the front. So now I have to say their name every single time. Awesome. All right. Question number 7. Which church is mentioned first in chapter 2 of Revelation? All right. Great job. Whopping 10 answers for the correct answer of Ephesus. Scoreboard. Celia Echidna, you're still now at 8,339 points. And Prairie Elk, you are up second. Royal Rabbit is pulling up. What did the angels have against the first church? They hold Balaam, they act with morality, they put a stunt spot before Israel, or they lost their first love. That's correct. Lost their first love.
Peter.
So Prairie Elk at 96-12. Celia Echidna, I had that right the first time, with now pulling in second, and Royal Rabbit still holding close to third. All right. How long would the second church's tribulation last? 10 hours, 10 days, 10 weeks, or 10 months? Wow, yeah. This might just be a game changer. And Prairie Elk is now first, Royal Rabbit second, Karen Gecko is third. Coming back up. What kind of manna is promised to the third church for those who Wow, this was a tough one with only 4 correct responses. Wow. The scoreboard, Prairie Elk is on fire with 12,372 points. Royal Rabbit second, Karen Gecko pulling in third. What woman did the last church tolerate in chapter 2? Jezebel. That's correct with 12 answers. Let's see what the scoreboard looks like. Oh, Prairie Elk still on fire. Celia Echidna coming in second, and Royal Rabbit still holding third. Come on, Royal, we can do it. Let's pull through it. Nothing to it. There is a stone mentioned in chapter 2 of Revelation. What color? Yes, that's correct. The white stone. For those of you who are grammatically sensitive, yes, we understand it is revelation, not revelations. but that's all right. If he ain't first, doesn't even matter. Prairie Elk, you are first. Silly Eknida, you are second. And Royal Rabbit, still holding third. Royal, come on. You got one more question. What do the 7 candlesticks mentioned in Revelation represent? Churches. That's correct. With 11 answers, let's see the final score sheet. Pulling in third is Blue. Wow, came out of the blue. And good job. And drum roll, please, for first place. Okay.
Such a great game. So I know third place was JT. Who was in second place? That was who?
Tone.
No, I was third place.
Yeah, we know. We got your message. Who was in second place?
Mr. Simmons.
Hey! And who was our first place winner?
You need to come to my Revelation Bible study.
Friends, you cannot play
any of them, even though you didn't help out with this one. You don't get to play because you're doing a whole Revelation.
You know what? Because
series.
you won, Friends, you're gonna have to go ahead and take us away in prayer.
So that's why you need to come to my Revelation Bible study. Next time we'll win.
Hey, here's your gift: a picture of a lovely tree.
Can't really see it.
Thank you. Oh, that's for the one.
Huh?
That's the number 1 winner.
Oh, this is gonna go out to all my winners.
For all of us. Okay.
Yes.
You're all Jesus Christ.
Beautiful. Then how can you drew that?
Oh no, I did.
Oh, you did.
Janelle.
We need to see some more. We need to see that picture again.
Janelle.
Yeah?
Yeah, this is Elder Walker. I was Royal Rabbit, but I find out that I was on a delay.
Oh.